Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I wanted to come up with a cute and easy craft that my daughter could do with her friends, and maybe you guys could do as well. So my inspiration is the candy conversation hearts that everybody loves. To start this project off, I headed over to the miter saw and I cut some common board into squares, 3 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. Then using a piece of paper, I just cut it the same size, and I'm just cutting out a heart shape that I can use as my template for all of these. Now, very important, I'm trying to leave 2 of the edges in a 90-degree angle. And then I'm just going to cut out that heart shape just on the tops as much as I can. You'll see how it's going to help it just to lay nicely on the shelves by keeping those 2 edges as flat as possible. Now I'm going to head over to the bandsaw to cut out these heart shapes. You could also use a jigsaw if you don't have a bandsaw. Now I really like just how simple this project is. It's something that you can easily do on a weekend just for fun and just to have something that's with the holidays to do. Now since I use the common board, I'm going to take special attention to sand out everything and just make sure that it's nice and smooth. Sanding it down is going to be worth it in the end because it's just going to look like a flat, smooth surface without any bumps in it. All right, we're moving in the house now, and it's time to paint these up. Now you can really use any kind of paint that you want. If you want something that dries really quick, I'd recommend chalk paint. I will be using an acrylic paint that I bought inexpensively from the store. I think it was about $2 or $3 for all of these paints, which is a great find when I'm just going to give these to my daughter and her friends to paint, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of money on paints for them. I also picked up some brushes as well that were just inexpensive, so nothing here is terribly expensive. So that's just kind of what I was looking to spend and wanted to do a project that I could show you. You could use these inexpensive items and make something that looks nice in the end. So if you wanted to do a craft for your kids or just something for you and your friends to do, you can do it without spending a lot of money. One thing that I paid close attention to was painting with the grain of the wood. This will just make your paint and your project look better to have your paintbrush strokes all going in one direction. Now I did 2 coats of paint on all of these, and although I don't show it, I actually set them on paper clips, really large paper clips, to dry. That way the paint doesn't stick to the paper. If your paint sticks to the paper there, you're going to have to take it back out and sand off the paper on the bottom. Now I'm using gloves. You can see that I actually purchased some this time. Some of you may have seen me in garden gloves and who knows what else when doing projects. But I did buy some gloves. I didn't want to ruin the manicure that I got for Valentine's Day. And what conversation heart would be complete without the cute writing on it? So I'm headed over to my computer and just pulling up the Cricut software. And here's where you get to be creative and create any fun little sayings that you want for your hearts. I found this lettering here that I really liked. I felt that it looked the most like these conversation hearts. And then I just sized them where I thought that they would fit in the hearts the best. I printed on red vinyl. And this part is so easy. You are just using some transfer paper to put those cute little sayings right onto the heart. At this point, you could be done just putting them on here. I have also seen sometimes where people use an iron just to make those letters really stick in place. But I decided that I wanted to put on a clear coat just to protect these, and in case I want to keep them to use down the road or give them as gifts and want those people to be able to use them next year, I decided to put on a protective clear coat on them. I went with a Mod Podge, and I just put on 2 light coats of this, letting it dry in between. Again, I used those paper clips to let it dry, just to make sure that I'm not gluing my hearts onto the paper and pulling off the paper once it's dry. And they're done. I think these turned out so cute, really easy, fun to make, and you can just create any you want. And the design is so nice because it sits on any shelf, nice and flat. You can be creative and put any lettering on that you want, any colors that you want. And it's just a fun gift that you could give out or a fun craft to make with your friends.